Hello there. My name is Sarah Jenkins. Welcome to another poetry deep dive today. I love Denis Martindale. He has written over 3,700 poems for the Poem Hunter website. Denis Martindale has written a new poem titled Five Magpies A-Hopping, and here's what the poem's message shares with us today. Section 1, The Mundane Morning Schedule, Waiting on the World. We all know this feeling, don't we? You know, it's early in the day, you've got a strict schedule to keep, and you're just effectively tied to your house. In this modern age, so much of our time is spent waiting on the world to come to us. You're tracking packages on your phone, you're constantly glancing out the window for delivery drivers. And your mind? Well, it's entirely focused on logistics and just checking off those daily plans. It's a very rigid, human way to start the day. Martindale opens the poem by perfectly capturing this super matter-of-fact reality. He writes, "Deliveries are prone to come before each midday here, and as I was awaiting some, I kept my schedule clear." He actually goes on to say he was frequently gazing out at his street, looking specifically for little and large vans so he could fulfill his plans. His attention is out there, sure, but it's completely filtered through this lens of errands and productivity. There is absolutely no room for magic yet. He's literally just a guy looking out for a delivery truck. Section 2. Enter the Five Magpies. The ballet begins. But then, the predictable rhythm of the morning is just completely shattered. Something happens that is seldom seen. Actually, he notes it's something he hadn't seen before at all. Nature suddenly interrupts the human schedule. And it is so captivating that he realizes he absolutely cannot ignore it, yet he also instinctively knows, he shouldn't intervene. So at first, it starts really small. He looks outside and spots just one single magpie on its own. And honestly, even that is enough to make him smile. But within 1 minute, 60 seconds, the situation rapidly escalates. 4 more magpies suddenly appear, bringing the grand total up to 5. This brilliantly illustrates just how quickly the natural world can surprise us. He goes from a casual smile to literally staring in wonder at this sudden little flock that has just completely claimed his street. And they aren't just standing there, okay? They're putting on a fully choreographed show. They start by hopping to and fro, moving from the pavements to the road like they completely own the place. Then, they split up, scattering from left to right. It is wonderfully chaotic. One flies up to a roof, acting as if it's taking a grand tour of the property. Another one hops right under a parked car and just pops out the other side, causing the poet's mouth to drop wide open in shock. No way, right? Then, a third one waddles past and quickly climbs up a pole, showing off this incredible control. Meanwhile, another is gently pecking the ground, silently scavenging for food right out of the potholes in the road. It's this bustling, totally unpredictable avian ballet happening right there in the super mundane setting of a residential street. Section 3. Rulers, potholes, and penguins. Visualizing the magic. Now, a great poet uses vivid details to make you see exactly what he's seeing from his chair, right? Martindale describes their physical appearance by noting their long tails stretched out like 12-inch rulers. It is such a precise, funny, and just evocative comparison. You can instantly picture these birds balancing themselves with these stiff, straight, exaggeratedly long tails trailing right behind them as they dart around the pavement. And the visual humor definitely does not stop there. Because of their striking black and white colors and the incredibly comical way they waddle along the pavement, the poet's brain makes this delightful little leap. They stop looking like common street birds and suddenly transform into penguins. He creates this amusing little penguin image in his mind, ironically waddling around an everyday urban street. It's a charming detail that he admits will remain with him forever. So while he's looking from left to right, trying to track all the crazy antics of these 5 backyard penguins, he thinks to himself, what sight could possibly match this now? And nature? Well, nature answers him immediately. To his absolute delight, 3 pigeons suddenly cross the sky right overhead. But unlike the chaotic, waddling, hopping magpies on the ground, these pigeons are aligned in perfect flight. The contrast is just spectacular. You have the grounded, bustling energy of the 5 magpies completely capped off by the serene, synchronized glide of the 3 pigeons above. Section 4. The Wisdom of Sitting Still. Finding joy in the present. So what does the poet actually take away from this entire experience? The vans he was waiting for almost fade into the background, because the real delivery of the morning wasn't a package, it was a moment of profound, unexpected joy. He concludes the poem with a reflection on his own reaction. He writes, "How wise I did not intervene, but sat still here to stay, while smiling at 5 magpies seen, as each one made my day." He realizes the immense value of simply doing nothing. By resisting the urge to step outside or shoo them away or even move from his chair, he allowed the magic to unfold naturally. He just sat, observed, and smiled. And in doing so, these 5 hopping birds completely made his day. Which really brings us to the core lesson of this explainer. We spend so much of our lives waiting for the things we planned that we often miss the beautiful, completely unscripted moments happening right in front of us. So I'll leave you with this question. How often do you keep your schedule clear just to watch the world outside your window? Next time you're waiting on a delivery, take a second to really look outside. You might just find your own 5 magpies waiting to put on a show. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and as always, keep your eyes open.